Good morning. How are you doing? My name is Raynard Jackson. I am chairman and founder of Black Americans for a Better Future Educational Fund. Why are we here and how did we get here? We're here to talk about two issues. The Georgia Integrity Act, which some have branded as a racist bill, and also to talk about Major League Baseball unilateral decision to move the game from Atlanta to Denver, Colorado. And we have some black conservatives and entrepreneurs behind me who will speak in a second. It's been estimated that Cobb County will lose north of $100 million in revenue and economic activity as a result of baseball's unilateral decision to relocate the game. We want to put a human face on this issue today. These are not just mere statistics and economic data that Cobb County put out. These are impacting human lives. And how we got to this point is you had one person by the name of Stacey Abrams who lied, and predicated upon a lie, she got Major League Baseball to relocate the game. She got corporations like Delta Airlines, Coca-Cola, to come out against the Georgia Integrity Act, and they thereby supporting relocating the game from a 30% black town like Atlanta metro area to a 9% black town called Denver, Colorado. Now, maybe if their allegations of the bill supporting voter suppression and being racist, maybe you can make an argument. But if you read the bill, nothing could be further from the truth. Matter of fact, it's easier to vote in Atlanta now that that bill is passed than it is in President Joe Biden's home state of Delaware, in New York State, and also even in Colorado. And so we're here to challenge not only corporate America, we want them to do what they're good at. Coca-Cola is good at making soda. It's the real thing. Delta Airline is good at flying me from DC to Atlanta. We want them to stay focused on what their core competencies are, not get involved in liberal, politically correct actions that have not only negative impact on their shareholders, which is their number one goal, but also it's dividing our community. Coca-Cola used to unify America. It used to be part of the apple pie and baseball. Remember the old slogan, "I like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony"? It's the real thing. Coca-Cola. I don't want to have to go to a grocery store and look at a can of Coke and decide, do I want to buy Coke or Pepsi because of their politics? I want to be able to walk into a grocery store and buy Coke and leave with a smile. And that's what corporations have got to get back to. And so at the end of this press conference, we're going to sign a letter that we've sent to Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, and Major League Baseball requesting that they meet with a group of black conservatives who have a different view. Who told corporate America and the liberal media that Stacey Abrams speaks for the main rank and file of the black community? She doesn't. She does not. And it's very offensive for corporate America to think they can talk to the media-appointed liberal black, and they're supposed to represent all of us. And what's amazing is Democratic operatives like Don Lemon at CNN News, Joy Reid at MSNBC, and Roland Martin, they perpetuate this myth. Why is it that they have Stacey Abrams on all their networks, but they won't have people like this who have different views, but also have a different story to tell? So the first person who's going to tell their story about the impact Major League Baseball leaving Atlanta has had on the small minority business community is Michael Murphy, a longtime Georgia resident and a businessman that actually consults and represents a lot of small and minority entrepreneurs. So I'm bringing to you Mike Murphy.
Good morning. Thank you, Bernard. My name is Michael Murphy, and I'm a proud resident and a new business owner with a health and hygiene company now. And I'm proud to be here today to stand with my fellow conservatives. I'm reminded of a quote by Reverend Dr. King that our lives begin to end the day we remain silent on things that matter. Can't be silent today, can't be silent at a time when we see decisions being made that have serious impact. And wherever you live in this area, the core of your community is a small business. We are the ones who are the risk takers. Up until recently, I was with Cobb County. And I'm proud to say that we're one of the first counties that I'm aware of that in late 2020 took some of the COVID relief funds and provided over $40 million of grants to small businesses. Everything from the home business, beauty salons, barbershop, and the like. But the action of Major League Baseball would make one forget that 2020 was the disaster that it was from a business point of view. So I want to speak out on behalf and support of the small person who every day has to go to their business, sacrifice time with their family to provide safety and security and prosperity for their loved ones. And I also would be remiss if I didn't also talk about the parking lot attendant, the valets, the people at the hotel and restaurant industry. Again, in Cobb County, tourism is the #1 industry. And this All-Star game was not just one day in a life, it was an entire week that I think our businesses were looking forward to and needed to support. And I would simply say that the other disturbing thing that I find is so many of the decisions that are made that impact small business are often made by people who've never had to meet a payroll. I personally believe that we would be a better country. Our state would be better. Our local governments would be better if we had more elected officials who were small business owners. And all I will say in ending this is that corporate America, your role is business. And I say there's no business like your business when you're doing business. So let us do business. When I go to the game, I want to enjoy a nice hot dog or cold beer and root for the home team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike. And remember, we're here to ask Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, and Major League Baseball. Again, people who have real life stories to tell, we want to sit down and talk with you because we think you all are valuable corporate citizens, but you need to you talk about wanting to have diversity, where there's also diversity within the black community as well. Not everybody agrees with Stacey Abrams. And Stacey Abrams has used this high-profile position, raised hundreds of millions of dollars, but what is she prepared to do to make some of these entrepreneurs whole with all that money she's received? Corporate America, Major League Baseball, you created this mess by believing a lie from Stacey Abrams. What are you prepared to do to make these small and minority businesses whole? That's what we want to discuss with you in our meeting, that hopefully you'll agree to meet with us. And before we move on to our next speaker, I want to introduce you to Micah Owens. He used to play with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here's how cool of a guy this guy is. He said, I wanted to come out to just support you guys. I don't want to speak. I don't want to, steal any thunder away from you guys. But what can I do to support? I just want to stand up here in solidarity with you guys. as a former Major League Baseball player, and I think it's so great of him. He represents what baseball used to be to America, where people of all backgrounds and races and colors can come together. So Micah, thank you for showing up with your support here. Our next speaker is going to be a guy I met over the weekend through some mutual friends. He had a great restaurant out in Cobb County, Smyrna, I think it is. And he's from Jamaica, a legal immigrant. And he has one of the best restaurants in town, and I have probably gained 5 pounds since I've been here eating at his restaurant. And we want him to speak, and he's going to put another human face on how Major League Baseball moves from Atlanta to Denver has personally impacted his business and his employees. So I'm going to bring up Marvell Rodney to talk to you guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for inviting me today. I'm honored to be here. I'm here because, like your sign says, we want to keep corporate America out of small business. I live in Cobb County since 2019. Thought it was a great year to raise my family, still is. But we want to protect the core value of family, get together, and baseball. I choose to move my business, Rodney's Jamaican Soul Food, closer to the baseball stadium, only because I want to capitalize on the business, not the business taken away from me. I want to capitalize on the family, the growth. I want to capitalize on partnership to better our community in Cobb County. Cobb County is a great county, but it's very, very, very important when you make decisions to keep politics out of small business. Small business is the drive, the force of our community. And the joy for me every day to go into Rodney's Jamaican Soul Food is to see the smile on people's face, to enjoy a good meal, to enjoy something worthwhile coming out for. It's part of our responsibility every day to protect and to guide our citizens, to provide them with the tools, to provide them with the resources necessary to grow. Last year, 2020, was a rough year for COVID-19. COVID-19, as you can tell, restaurant business went through a hard time. I was looking forward for this opportunity to get back in business, to get back on grind, to start either just stop the bleeding a little bit and start gaining back some momentum. I was looking for this opportunity. Now this opportunity has been taken away. We want it back. We want love, liberty. We want life. We want joy. Nothing should take away from us but given to us. We want the life. We want the enjoyment. We want the freedom. We want the aspiration. We want the love and the joy. We want baseball to bring the love back to Cobb County, bring it back to our family. We hold to them. We hold that legacy to our kids, to our grandkids. So today, I choose to stand here to stand up for small business like myself, to my staff who was looking forward for this extra week of work, to the extra money to provide for their family, for the extra revenue to pay their rent, to put food on their table, to send this kid to school. We need that. Please give that to us. Give us the opportunity. Give us the love. Give us the joy. That's all I ask. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rodney. And he is the face of small business here in the Atlanta metro area. And it's people like him and Mike Murphy who are the engine behind economic growth And we've got to get back to growing these small businesses because this is where America is great. And if we don't get back to helping small and minority businesses grow, Major League Baseball, guess what? This economy is going back into the tank, and that's what we cannot afford to do. We're going to have one other speaker, then what we're going to do is going to sign this letter we sent to corporate America requesting a meeting with us and them so they can be presented a different voice from within the black community. Because again, Stacey Abrams does not represent the rank and file in the black community. Democratic operatives like Joy Reid from MSNBC, Don Lemon from CNN, Roland Martin, they just do whatever their overseers tell them to do. Why is it that they never had someone like Mike and Rodney on their shows to present a different voice from within the black community? And you notice they've never had anyone on their networks who've been negatively impacted by this move of Major League Baseball. And they also constantly tell black folks, you're not smart enough to get an ID to go vote. And perpetuating this myth that somehow that you may be low income, therefore you're stupid. No, a lot of folks don't have a lot of money, but they're smart as heck. All they want is people to get out of the way and let them provide for their family. So remember that. So Lisa Babbage here represents the Georgia Black Republican Council, and they have the pulse of the local black business community here, and she's been very involved in the local level, especially with this baseball situation. So Lisa Babbage.
Good morning. I feel a little emotional, so let me apologize in advance. I want to start by saying that the council's goal and mission is for Black America, everyone, but specifically here in Georgia, to unite under the banner of education that brings economic opportunity to all. Let us not forget that we are family, Black America. But Stacey Abrams and activists like her are not monolithic voices for our community. You know, conservatives have always appreciated diversity of thought, but socialists don't. Let me remind you of that. They throw around their political rhetoric and they take food out of the mouths of the very communities they say they want to protect. I remember what it was like walking to Fulton County Stadium and seeing all of the entrepreneurs who had set up tents along the sidewalk, knowing that in my heart they were able to take their kids out to lunch because of the money they would have earned on home game day. Do you remember the public outcry when the Braves moved their stadium from Fulton County to Cobb? All the businesses that were impacted, small, Black-owned businesses. And now, to end insult to injury, folks like Stacey Abrams have gotten Major League Baseball to jump ship and run. They are impacting businesses like Rodney's, whose families wanted the stress removed for just a moment as they try to recover from this pandemic who has impacted Black communities more than any other. Right outside this rotunda, there are white workers beautifying our state capitol, and there is a tent city of Black men and women across the street. They've been there as long as I've been alive, probably longer. How dare socialists throw around their political rhetoric and impact the bottom line pocketbook of Black America? We must unite and overcome this rhetoric, stop falling for the lies. This is not against Stacey Abrams as a person, it's against the lies that she spits. Lies that are spit in the face of every descendant of slaves who have overcome the economic burdens placed on us by being behind the 8 ball. Every man in this country, every woman, must embrace the Constitution and its right to give us a freedom that we choose, a manifest destiny that we write for ourselves. But folks like Stacey Abrams and others like her, corporations like Coca-Cola and Delta, I'm ashamed to say, fall in line behind a rhetoric that keeps us in economic chains. And today we say enough is enough. I remember what it was like to get the free Braves baseball ticket as a fifth grader and go down to Fulton County Stadium and watch from the nosebleed seats. I remember what it was like when I got that first hot dog, and I remember what happened when I stood in front of Hank Aaron's statue and took a selfie. Those are memories that have been snatched from children this year. And as a teacher, my heart breaks when I think about that. My heart breaks when I think about my grandfather who religiously listened to the Braves on radio, and my mother-in-law who watched every game. They would turn over in their graves right now if face-to-face with Stacey Abrams, knowing that she is robbing children of that opportunity to enjoy not only the economic benefit that would come from their family, but the memories of childhood that every American deserves. Baseball is America, and right now we take a stand.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And as we wrap up our remarks here, we're going to open it up to the media for a few questions as well. But before we do that, I want you all to take these markers and sign that letter. And Mike, you want to sign? Yes, and sign that letter, and that we wrote to corporate America requesting a meeting with them, with some black conservatives, especially black conservative small entrepreneurs, and let's have a dialogue. And what I want to emphasize to you guys is Black America had a wide range of thoughts, beliefs, and values. I hope corporate America and Major League Baseball will come to appreciate that we do have diversity. And as Winston Churchill, former British Prime Minister, once said, "To every man there comes a time in his life when he is figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a great and mighty work, unique to him and fitted to his talents." What a tragedy, Delta Airlines. What a tragedy, Coca-Cola. What a tragedy, Major League Baseball, if that moment finds you unprepared or unqualified for the moment that could be your finest hour. We can't bring the baseball game back from Denver, but Major League Baseball, you can make these entrepreneurs whole again. You unilaterally moved the game from Atlanta to Denver. You all were supposed to honor a legend, an iconic legend here in Atlanta, Hank Aaron, who died last year, unfortunately. How is he going to be properly honored in Denver versus his home city of Atlanta? I don't get that at all, Mr. Manfred from Major League Baseball. And so we want you all, if you're with us out there in the audience, please go to BAFBF, BlackAmericans4a Better Future.org. Sign up and show your support, and we're going to put pressure on Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, and Major League Baseball to meet with some small business owners who've been negatively impacted by this. But also, before I finish, we want to recognize Home Depot for not caving in to the pressure by the liberals to boycott Home Depot. Matter of fact, I encourage the listening audience, wherever there's a Home Depot in your city and state, please go there and tell them you saw this press conference and you want to talk to a manager and thank them for their support from their corporate offices. So with that, I'm going to go sign this, and we're going to open it up for some questions from our business owners. Yes. Well, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll let the rest of them address this, I'd like to see baseball, number one, make some of these entrepreneurs whole. These businessmen did not ask to be put in this position. Major League Baseball didn't even notify the Atlanta Braves or the county executive, Lisa Cupid, what they were doing. And so that's the one thing. Delta Airlines and Coca-Cola, we want them to know there are black conservatives out there who have a differing viewpoint than Al Sharpton. And they constantly run to these liberals when it comes to racial issues, but then they run to Republicans for legislative issues. There's a disconnect going on. And we, as opposed to throwing stones at them, we want to be a partner with them. We want to work together with them to make America stronger for everyone. That's my view. Mike?
I think one simple thing that could be done, and again, I've spent a lot of years in corporate America, is a simple apology. We all make mistakes. I'm reminded of the African proverb that says, only a fool measures depth by both feet. And in my opinion, the commissioner stuck his finger in the water and thought he had the temperature right, but he had it way wrong. So an apology goes a long way.
I think the answer is very simple. Bring Major League Baseball back to Atlanta, fair and square. That's it. That's all it is, very simple answer. Thank you.
Yeah, the other thing I would like to know is how the head of Major League Baseball, how did he come to the decision to move the games from Atlanta to Denver? What was the source? Did he talk to anyone outside of Stacey Abrams who lied about what was in the voting integrity bill, the Georgia integrity bill? What did she tell him that made him so panicky that he decided to move the games to another town? And as you all know, to put together any type of all-star game takes years of planning. And give you another issue that most folks probably have not even thought about. Look at black media. They were looking forward to covering the Hank Aaron celebration as well as the All-Star game. As you know, black newspapers or small businesses, now you're asking them to try to get a plane ticket, and most of the flights are sold out during the All-Star time. Now hotel prices have raised their prices, so you're asking a small business person who's already on a shoestring budget to allocate probably $5,000 or $10,000 per reporter to travel halfway across the country for an event they thought they were going to cover here locally. So just think of all the money they're out of. So again, baseball did this predicated on a lie from Stacey Abrams. Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines made their decisions to oppose the Georgia Integrity Act based on a lie from Stacey Abrams. Did they talk to any blacks who had different views? If so, who were they? Show us. Talk to us. And so corporate America claims to want diversity within their employee group. What, you mean every black person inside of Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines agreed with Stacey Abrams? I dare say not, because I've talked to a lot of them down here in Georgia. I talk to them on a regular basis. Most blacks do not support and believe Stacey Abrams. She outright lied. So corporate America, meet with us, talk with us. Let's see what we can do to resolve some of these issues with baseball. How do you plan on making these business owners whole again? And secondly, Delta, Coca-Cola, do you want your product to be a good product or service, or do you want it to be a political product or service? You all have to make that decision, and we'd like to help you with that dialogue. Any other questions? Okay, with that, we're going to end this press conference. But again, please go to Black Americans for a Better Future, BAFBF.org. Show us your support. Let us know that you're with us. And if we need your help to press and put pressure on Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, and Major League Baseball to meet with a group of black conservatives, please work with us, because hopefully it won't come to that. But we're determined to keep the pressure on these entities, because they need to see the full range of views within the black community represented. Thank you for your time, and thank you for coming out. I'm Raynard Jackson.